guys, it's Annie and I've been trying my best to post 2 videos a week and I've actually been succeeding at that. So round of applause for me, yay, I'm finally getting this YouTube posting thing down. Took long enough. Ugh. Burp. You're welcome. I'm keeping that in there, I don't even care. Anyway, so when I don't have like a detailed video planned out, I've kind of been defaulting to storytime videos, so I hope you like that. If you don't, leave in the comments what would you rather see, or if you do like storytime videos, is there any specific topic you would like to hear about, or just any kind of video you would like to see in general? Let me know, I am open to suggestions. Today's storytime video is going to be all about how I ended up moving to LA. It was very unexpected and probably a lot different than most people's experiences with moving. But before we get on with the story, if you're not subscribed already, you can hit the subscribe button on the screen or down below if you would like, and you will be updated when I post new videos weekly. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps my videos out and I would greatly appreciate that. One more thing, in my previous video, I'm having a giveaway, so if you have not seen that yet, you can go check that out if you would like. But that is enough chit chat, so on with my story. Flashback to 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, I was still living at home in the state of Washington with my parents, and my friend Justin, who is a writer, a producer, a director, all that jazz, he had a web series up in Portland that I would help out, and I would do like behind the scenes photography and just lend a helping hand when needed. And he was taking that down to VidCon and asked me if I would like to go because he knew that I was obsessed with YouTube. Well, I'm still obsessed with YouTube, but I was really obsessed back then. And I had about 1,000 subscribers at the moment. It was just something I dabbled in. I liked to post videos. It was fun. I was just really obsessed with watching other people's videos and the community, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So going to VidCon sounded amazing. So that summer we drove all the way from the Northwest down to Anaheim, California, which is where VidCon is located. I have to burp again. Why do I have to burp so many times? That was little one. That's what she said. I didn't really know that many people down there other than Justin and the people that went down with us. The only other actual person that I knew down there was my current roommate of the last 4 years, Brandon Shea. You probably have seen hints of him in my videos. He was in my videos in the past and whatnot. But yeah, so Brandon was down there, and Brandon and I are actually from the same hometown. So I knew him back when he was in high school, and he already kind of had his foot in the YouTube door. Like, he knew people. He introduced me to some YouTubers. It was just really awesome, like meeting and, you know, befriending people who I had watched their channels and whatnot. It was exciting. I don't think most of them knew that I knew who they were because I kept my cool, because I'm like really cool. Like back then, Joey Graceffa already knew who I was because I entered the Strawberry 17 contest and won. So he was already aware of me, and I like bumped into him and he was like, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, and here's one quick little story from that experience at VidCon. So Maker Studios is a big YouTube network, and they always have a huge party every VidCon, and that year it was in the lobby of the Hilton Hotel, and the only thing separating the party and like the lobby and stuff was basically this big curtain, but it was guarded. So I was very sneaky, and I went up to the side of the curtain where it was just kind of like overlapped like that, like there is an opening if you dug into it, and I stood there at the side of the curtain outside of the party pretending I was texting on my phone. I was like looking to make sure no one was looking at me. I literally rolled in straight into the party. Joey was sitting there and he watched the whole thing and he was like, I see you, but it was no big deal, so I just stayed and I got to be at the VIP party, and at that point I didn't really know many people, so that would have been a lot harder to get into if I would not have snuck in. Luckily now I know people and I can get on lists, and if I'm not on the list I can go in with someone who's more successful than I am, and they will just be like, hey, they're with me, and I can get into these things. So that's a lot better now, because sneaking into things freaks me out. That was just a side story. I also met my first on-again, off-again LA boyfriend there, who was a YouTuber, and he's someone who I watched his videos like all the time. Like, I loved his videos, so I was sly and I went up to him. I've actually told this story, but it's been a while, so I'm gonna tell it again. I went up to him and I was like, hey, not in like a weird way, but you're like really talented at what you do. That hooked him. So basically that's the key. If you want to date someone that you watch on YouTube, just go up and be like, hey, not being creepy at all. You're good at that. They'll fall in love right away. Oh my gosh, maybe one day I'll do like a full story time on that VidCon experience because it was crazy. Like, so basically I met Joey, Brandon was there, I met that boyfriend back then. Oh, also, if you know Sawyer Hartman, Him and Brandon were really good friends then, so I met him. He was super nice back then. But VidCon is only 2 or 3 days and it ended. So Justin and our group are gonna go stay at this guy's house that we know in LA, and then we're gonna drive back in the morning, all the way back up to Washington. So I get there and I was just not ready to leave yet. So I talked to Brandon and he basically convinced me like, hey, you should just stay through the end of the week and just fly up, see if your parents will get you a ticket and you can just, you know, get to experience LA a little bit. So I called my parents, they agreed that I could fly up after a week. I was very excited, and actually Sawyer agreed to let me stay in his guest room that week, so I was really appreciative of that. I met so many people, so many YouTubers that I watched, and it was like hanging out in friend settings, and it was just awesome. I was there for the 4th of July. Basically about halfway into the week of me staying there, Brandon, my current roommate, was like, why don't you just stay? You can come stay at my apartment and stay until the end of the month, because I'm gonna be driving home and you can just drive home with me and you can experience this longer and it'll be fun. And I was like, yeah, I should do that. And then the month goes on and Brandon's like, well, you know, at the end of the month, I'm going home, and then like a month later, I'm gonna be needing a new roommate. So why don't we just drive up and get your stuff and you can drive back down and be my roommate? And I was like, yeah, I should do that. It literally went from me just going down there for VidCon for a couple of days to Brandon being like, hey, why don't you stay the week? And me being like, yeah. And then him being like, hey, just stay the month. And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, hey, just move down here. And I'm like, yeah. Basically, I came here for VidCon and never left. Well, besides when I visit home. So yeah, it was just like super sudden, and I took a leap of faith, because I will tell you, if I sat at home with my parents and planned a move to LA, it would not have happened, because I would have overthought it. But instead it was like this exciting, like moment by moment thing that just happened, and I didn't have to overthink it. And I'm so happy that I did it. This is my life now. I dreamed of living in LA, and now I do. I dreamed of doing YouTube, and now I do. And it's just been freaking amazing. And within the first month of me living here, I did a video with Joey Graceffa, which is someone who I always watched. I did a video with Luke Connard. I watched him. Jax Films, he's a really good guy. I've been friends with him most of the last 4 years that I've been here. I didn't watch him before, but his stuff's really funny. You probably maybe have seen it. But you know, I did all these videos with these very large YouTubers, and it's just kind of what boosted me up in the YouTube world a little bit. It gave me like a push start for moving here. But I had so much like anxiety and self-doubt back then that I didn't really roll with it. Like after all those collabs back then, if I would have been consistent and like scheduled things and like was dedicated to YouTube, I think I could be doing way better than I am now. But I'm not gonna complain, because I had a lot of I didn't even know how to do laundry when I moved to LA. I'm getting that part down now. So now it's the professional part that I'm working on. Like I said, I've been posting regularly, which I finally got the hang of, thank you. But yeah, it's been just like this wild and crazy adventure, and it's my life, and it seems normal now, but looking back over the last 4 years, like, whew, I'm doing something. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I'm doing something. If there's one thing I can advise you to do from my experience, is if a huge opportunity comes along, like the collabs I did back then, take full advantage of it and roll with it, and don't doubt yourself, because doubting myself probably hurt me. But if I would have ran with it, I would probably be doing very, very, very well by now, but I let my doubt get in the way of that. Not that I'm not doing well, it's just a slower process. But I'm learning. I'm always constantly learning. Well, that's my story, and I hope it made sense, because I felt like I was like babbling and all over the place, but that is my brain. It does not go in a straight line. It's been that way my whole life, so that's what you get. Also, besides letting me know any video requests, leave in the comments, where do you wish you could live? Because I'm living where I always wished and dreamed of living. So I'm saying that it can happen if you put your mind to it, or just make random sporadic decisions and just stay after going on a 3-day vacation and never returning home like I did. I'm just saying, it can work out. One last thing, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those will be in the description. So if you're not following me on those and would like to be, go check those out. But that is all I have for you today, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye guys. First of all, I'm giving away 1, 2, 3, 4 Benefit lip and cheek stains. Also, I'm gonna be giving away the Professional Primer. Next, we have another favorite, which is the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. And the last item is their Real Mascara. So there you go, 7 full-size Benefit products.